This is Satires of Miss G, the weekly podcast from where you get zero knowledge and maybe a movie review or a rumor about my neighbor. Namaste to each and every person listening to this podcast, and a special namaste to those 10 people who will always listen to Satires of Miss G. Okay, so remember the movie that I spoke about last week? Yeah, Shakuntala Devi. But why am I talking about that again? Well, there's a dialogue that stood out for me the most. When Vidya Balan looks up at the branches of trees and says, "There is a pattern in these branches so that every leaf gets its share of sunlight. Nature is the greatest mathematician." This line kept echoing in my mind whenever I looked at plants. And she's right. Every branches, every leaves are grown in a direction that doesn't obstruct sunlight from falling on their sibling leaves. Somehow, plants and trees are mindful about how each of its part is growing. Now, imagine having 10 kids, okay, and finding the best way to raise them with love, care, food, and everything else. It's quite difficult. Do you guys remember what happened in the movie Home Alone? Yeah. What I mean to say is, when the number of people increases, it gets harder to take care and give attention to all of them. Similarly, as the number of leaves increases, it gets harder for the plant to provide enough sunlight for everyone. But they are genius. They figured out a way to grow bigger and also healthier. Look at all the trees near you. Whatever be their shape, they have figured it out a way to take care of themselves. It seems like nothing in nature happens without a reason. All the patterns that you see have an important reason to exist. And nature prefers to arrange itself in patterns in order to act efficiently. Actually, the pattern of growth in trees has a mathematical name to it. It is called fractals. It was Mr. Leonardo da Vinci, also known as Leonardo da Vinci, who found maths in trees. In between painting the beautiful Mona Lisa and designing flying machines for fun, Leonardo da Vinci occasionally got outside and looked up at the trees. So, a bit of a math is coming towards you. Be ready. According to Da Vinci's observation, if a tree trunk splits off into three main branches, each of the branches will be 1/3 the size of the trunk. When each of these branches are split into three again, making 9 branches, these branches will be 1/9 the size of the trunk. So as the branches grow and split, they will always be a particular fraction of the size of the trunk. This isn't the case in all trees, but the majority hold to this pattern. So scientists wanted to come up with a reason for tree-based math. So they've been testing this old observation of Leonardo's. Among many theories, there is one theory that got a bit of evidence recently, even though it was a virtual evidence. Christophe Eloy from the University of Provence in France put virtual trees in a virtual wind tunnel. The branches and trees that held with Leonardo's rule of trees held together longer and under tougher conditions than those that branched out in their own way. So that is one proof. But that being said, there are definitely many more beautiful reasons for the trees to be the way they are. Nevertheless, this type of growth has a mathematical as well as a physical beauty. Trees are natural fractals, patterns that repeat smaller and smaller copies of themselves. Each tree branch from the trunk to the tips is a copy of the one that came before it. Physics, math, and biology come together to create the simplest and most efficient growth pattern. Well, guys, that's all for today. Hope you have a great week ahead. See you soon. Bye bye.